17, I've never really like calculated what I wanted to do. You know, I had, you know, a deep desire of what I want to be. You know, I'm going to make it happen. But, you know, one of my biggest things in my mind I can say from probably like the age of 12, I want to be somebody.
And what does that somebody look like? Sound like? Feel like?
Somebody who knows themselves. Somebody who's recognized and respected. And somebody who's humble. You know, I'm not trying to become no celebrity. But what I am trying to become, I want you to honor what I have to say and what I'm bringing to the table. And I think everything is always a give and take relationship. And, you know, I think life is a humbling experience if you allow it to be. You know, don't get so caught up in your ego. Because I'm telling you, all you got to do is meet the right person and knock it down so quick. And, I wouldn't say I learned it the hard way because I feel that I've been blessed in my life so far. And I've always looked at it that, it's somebody else who's worse off than me. A lot of people say to me, oh, you're born in New York. Why did you come to England? And I say to them, like, have you been to New York? You know, like, you talk about poverty. We have absolute poverty in the US. And I wouldn't deny the fact that we have it in the UK as well. So for these countries to call themselves a rich, great country, you have to ask that, who's sacrificing? You know, who's not benefiting from it? And I think that scares me, man. Like, you know how many people who've died for me just to be comfortable with, having the time to think. Some people don't have the time to just sit down and think. So it's a luxury, it is. And freedom has never been acquired by just being complacent with the people who are not allowing you to do what you want to do. You have to fight for it. Things will be taken away from you. It's going to be hard, but it's worth it because I don't think we've experienced freedom yet. Because I think when you really are free, you know the value of freedom, And I don't think we understand the value of what it is to be free. I think, don't get me wrong, we're allowed to do what we want to do in our own perimeters and stuff like that, but we're constricted. You can't leave the country without paying. You know what I mean? So,
and you can't leave this earth without paying.
You know what I mean? So that's why my message has always been, what do you put value to? Because when you look at successful people, their idea of value is completely different. Don't get me wrong, they like nice stuff as well. You see them in there all the time. But what is their value system? And that's what determines on what you get and what you don't get, what you need and what you don't need. A lot of things we have, we don't need. Like, my grandmother would say, and then she done it to my mom and her brothers, and now she does it to me, and I do it to my nieces. The idea of when they ask for something, you say, if you must. And it makes you feel like, okay, I didn't really want it that bad. So, like, one of the guys that I listen to, and he's like really inspiring. He's a motivational speaker in the US, Eric Thomas. And he's like, if you want success as bad as you need to breathe, you'll be successful. And that sent something clicking in my brain, like, do I really want success as bad as I need to breathe? Now, you don't even realize that you're breathing because you're just so used to breathing. You've been on this earth for how many years? So imagine you have that same commitment, perseverance, and ethics behind being successful. It won't be a conscious effort, it will be your subconscious. This is why people like Beyonce or people like Michael Jackson, people who love them, because they work hard at what they do. No matter what their agenda is, they do it to the best that they can. To the point that when you meet them and you be around them, they have such a strong aura, a strong pull, gravitational pull towards them. It's not by accident. It's because you know greatness when you see it. It's what they use the greatness for. That's a different situation. That's a whole different story.
And the mark of greatness is definitely on you.
Thank you so much. Amen.
You have so much in you, and you've got so much to give. And I'm really following you because there is a story in you. You started this from a very young age, and I know that you're going to inspire a lot more young people. First of all, to find their voice, to find their truth. It's in your story. It's all about our truth. When I break down it's in your story, it's about sharing. Yeah. The T is about your truth. The O is about optimism, because in every story there is a level of optimism.
Definitely.
The R is about reflecting, and the Y is all about you. And that's why I love it's in your story, because our stories have the power to change lives. Our stories give life. And every day we're creating another part of our story. Every day we're becoming a new person. And if we can share some of what we have, just like you're doing now, we know that we will make the world a better place.
Yeah. I think one of my, the Bible says that you have the power of life and death in your tongue. And the older you get, the more you realize that whether or not you're religious, because you realize what you say has effect on a lot of people, even the people that's not even around you at that situation of saying it.
But just stop for 1 second. You just said life and death is in the tongue. It didn't say death and life. So from the moment you open your mouth, it's saying to us that we speak life.
Yes, yes.
But that doesn't necessarily happen.
No. We don't realize how powerful we are. And I think those people who run whatever the world you would look at it from whatever perspective, those people are in control, real control. They understand that. And if you understand what somebody's capable of, and you know that it's going to hinder what you're trying to do, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that they don't recognize who they are. You know, these are the times when I wish I did sit down and read the Bible when my grandmother told me to. Because I think in a lot of stories that we pass down to our younger generations, there's are morals, there are values in them. And we need to start realizing that. We need to start respecting our elders, and our elders need to start cherishing our young people. We allow our young people to go to the system too easily. We give up too easily. And it's sad because at the age of 19, I have to tell 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds that you need to love your children a little bit more than you are at the moment. Because they're the reason why we're in the situation that we're in. And we can't blame nobody but ourselves. And I think people need to realize that. So the more we start understanding each other and realizing that we need each other, then things will change around us. People will have to. People will have to. And you'd be surprised how much magnetism your message has on people. All it takes is somebody nowadays is to go on YouTube and watch a video and it said, rah, now I know. You know, so it's so much easier to contact people than it was 50, 100 years ago. So there should be no excuse why people are not on the same path. So we need to start realizing that it starts from the ground and it works its way up. And we need to be there at the beginning.
Jacob, what one word of advice, or advice? Since you're one of the young advisors, can you give to our audience today?
Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge, seek knowledge. And I say that because you don't have to have a PhD, you don't have to have A-levels, GCSE to type something in on the internet or on Google, or just to ask somebody a question. The only fool is a fool who doesn't ask, you know? And I think that's so true. And I'm telling you, man, you'd be surprised how much you will learn. And the more you learn, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more you tolerate, the more you love, the more you understand that your emotions are very powerful. So you shouldn't say I hate you to anybody. You know, even if you mean it, find another word that might change their life around. You know, this is a bit random, but I watched The Color Purple, and Whoopi Goldberg said to her husband, until you do right by me, nothing you say or do shall prosper. And that's strong. You know, imagine that. You're forcing that person to change who they are. Because until they do that, nothing they say or do shall prosper. And I think you need to realize that more, you know. Show love to people around you, even if you don't know them. If you're walking down the street, smile.
And it's such a simple thing to do.